Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. So, how are you
Waalaikumsalam
today?
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm fine today.
Okay, without wasting our time, let us begin our which is to allocate 300,000 ringgit and to clean river and beach in April and July 2025. Now, let's confirm the minutes of the previous meeting. Does everyone agree?
Yes, I agree. The minutes accurately reflect our discussions.
I agree as well. I reviewed them and everything looks in order.
Same here. I don't have any objection.
I have also gone through the minutes. Everything seems fine to me.
I agree as well. Let's proceed.
Alright. The minutes of the previous meeting are confirmed. Are there any amendments to the additions made during the last meeting?
I'd like to propose an amendment regarding the budget allocation. RM 300,000 might be insufficient considering the rising cost of equipment and volunteer engagement.
That's true, Mr. Zaini. We also need to account for the logistic and material required for proper waste management during the cleanup. Perhaps we can revise the budget to include an additional RM 50,000. I think that's a practical adjustment. Along with logistics, we also need to factor in unforeseen costs like repairs for equipment or additional tools needed during the cleanup activities. A contingency fund might be useful.
I agree with Mr. Afiq. Moreover, we could also explore sponsorship opportunities to offset some of these costs. Collaborating with NGOs or corporate partners could help us optimize the use of our allocated funds.
That's a good idea. I also think we should prioritize spending on sustainable tools like reusable gloves and eco-friendly garbage bags.
Oh, I see. Any other thoughts?
I think we should also look into reducing expenses for non-essential items. For instance, we can consider borrowing or renting equipment instead of purchasing everything outright.
That's a good point, Mr. Zaini. We should review our inventory first to see what we already have and avoid redundant purchase. Another thing to consider is leveraging digital tools. For example, we can use free online platforms for volunteer recruitment and training, which will save costs on physical materials.
I like that idea, Mr. Afiq. It's efficient and eco-friendly. Plus, digital platforms can reach a wider audience, making it easier to recruit volunteers.
Agreed. Let's ensure that any adjustment we make to the budget prioritize the essential and long-term impact of the projects.
Notes. We revisit the budgets later in this meeting to finalize the adjustment. Alright, let's move on to matters arising. Mr. Zaini, can you elaborate on your suggestion about the budget?
Certainly, based on my ancient year calculation, The cost of mobilizing volunteer, training, and purchasing equipment might exceed the current budget. For instance, safety gear and cleaning supplies for 100 volunteers per session could cost at least 18,000 per activity.
That's a valid concern, Mr. Zaini. Additionally, we need to allocate funds for transportation and food allowance for the volunteers. These factors will ensure their comfort and productivity during the clean-up session. I like to add that we should explore cost-effective methods for transportation. For instance, hiring local vehicles or partnering with community leaders to provide transport could reduce costs while engaging the locals.
I like to add that we should also consider the cost of conducting awareness campaigns in school or local communities near the river and beach. These campaigns can make a long-term impact by educating people about reducing waste and protecting the environment.
I agree, Mr. Hijazi. Perhaps we can create a detailed breakdown of the budget to ensure every expense is accounted for. That way, we have a clearer picture of where we might need additional funding.
We should also explore bulk purchasing for supplies. Buying in larger quantities might reduce the overall cost per item, especially for things like gloves, garbage bags, and safety equipment.
That's a good idea. I can research potential suppliers and negotiate for discount. While we are planning, let's also include a timeline for these activities. This will help us allocate resources and prioritize tasks effectively.
Wow, good suggestion, everyone. Let's move on to agenda for today. Moving on to the agenda, what are your thoughts on the location for the beach cleaning activity?
I propose Batuferinghi Beach for its visibility and popularity. The area attracts many tourists, and a clean up activity there will send a strong message about keeping public space and clean. Additionally, I suggest Klang River, which is one of the most polluted river in Malaysia and urgently need attention.
I think those are excellent choice, Mr. Hijazi. However, I suggest we involve the local communities at these locations. For example, we can collaborate with fishermen or local business to not only assist in the cleanup but also maintain the cleanliness after our activities.
That's a great point, Mr. Afid. While we are there, we could organize workshops for the local residents, especially school children, to educate them about the importance of reducing plastic waste and protecting ecosystem.
From a logistical standpoint, I will ensure that we have sufficient transportation and supply for both locations. I will also coordinate with local authorities to get the necessary permission and support, such as waste disposal facilities. I can assist you with that, Mr. Ashraf. I've worked with some local authorities before, and I can help expedite that the permission process. Additionally, we should consider getting local media coverage to spread awareness.
Okay, for the timeline, it's important to start preparation at least in a month in advance for each cleanup session. This will give us enough time to recruit volunteers, arrange material, and promote the event.
That's a good point, Mr. Zaini. We should also engage the media to cover these activities. It will help spread awareness and encourage more people to participate in future efforts.
I think I can take the lead in designing promotional materials like flyers or social media posts to maximize outreach for the campaigns.
Let's not forget about the follow-up system. We need to ensure that site we clean remain in a good condition. Regular assessment and maintenance plans should be part of our strategy.
I completely agree. We could collaborate with local school or community group to establish long-term monitoring programs.
Excellent ideas. Let's consolidate this plan and assign specific tasks to everyone later in the meeting. All right. Is there any other matters anyone would like to raise?
Yes, I suggest we partner with NGO or environmental group to raise additional fund. For instance, organizations like WWF Malaysia or RefCheck could provide support, both financially and in terms of expertise.
That's an excellent idea, Mr. Hijazi. Partnering with established NGO will not only help with funding, but also lend credibility to our efforts. I can reach out to a few contacts I have in this organization.
I also suggest involving youth groups or student organizations in our effort. They can be a great resource for enthusiastic volunteers and can also amplify the impact of our clean up campaigns.
I'd also like to propose setting up a follow-up system to monitor the impact of our cleanup activity. For example, we could revisit the site 3 months after we clean up to assess whether they remain clean or need further attention.
That's a great idea, Mr. Zaini. It will show our commitment to long-term solutions rather than just one-off events.
I also like to highlight the importance of evaluating the effectiveness of our campaign. Perhaps we can conduct survey with the local communities to get the feedback and improve future activities.
That's a good suggestion, Mr. Hijazi. It will also give us data to share with potential sponsors or stakeholders just to justify our effort and secure more resources.
Excellent. Let's finalize this plan and assign specific action points. I think that's all for today. Thank you for your contribution, everyone. Our efforts here are vital, and I appreciate your dedication. Let's ensure we follow up on the action item discussed. One more time, thank you, everyone. The meeting is ended. So, see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Salam.
wabarakatuh.
Alright.
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you,
warahmatullahi
Mr.
wabarakatuh.
Thank
Nini.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you
Mr.
all the
Fidel.
visitors that come to meeting today. I appreciate your effort.
Thank you.
Mr. Ashraf, Mr. Hijaz, Mr. Zain, Mr. Afiq, Mr. Shukur. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you,
Welcome.
Mr. Daniel
Alright.
Riziki.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, most
Daniel.
welcome. Have a
Welcome,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Daniel.
All right,
For your
welcome.
adjustment.
Everyone can leave. Bye bye.
Alright.